Welcome to the Guardian File. This is where you can kind of get an inside look or view of what actually happens behind prison walls. Before I go any further, make sure you hit the like button and also make sure you subscribe. Let me start by asking this question. Have you ever constantly got phone calls from whether it's a family member, friend, or associate who's locked up in prison? And it's cool that they're calling, just to check on the family, just to even have small talk. But no, this person is constantly requesting money. They may even go as far as guilting you into sending them money, making you feel like you're not a real friend or a true family member if you don't send this money. They'll try to make you think that the prison isn't supplying them with anything. Almost like the prison is just giving them bread and water and access to nothing else. So they'll claim that they need these funds for, let's say, hygiene products because the prison isn't supplying them with any soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, etc. Or maybe even food. Because again, they're only being fed bread and water. And they'll convince you that this is true. I hate to break it to you, but the truth of the matter is that everything that is needed is actually being provided by the prison. Now, it may not be the best brand names or the best tasting food. But for example, in the federal system, the inmates eat pretty good. So, what you should be asking yourself is, what do they really need the money for? And why are they trying to go as far as to guilt you into sending them money? Not even caring about the things that you may have to take care of in your life on the outside. Not in all cases, but in a majority of the cases, from my personal experience, these funds are being requested even though they tell you it's for food, commissary, hygiene products. These funds are normally requested because of gambling debts or debts pertaining to drug use. Now, I know this may be something that you really don't want to hear. It may even make you feel uncomfortable to hear this. But the truth of the matter is, in many cases, this is the reason why they're requesting money. You have to ask yourself, why is this person seems like it's so urgent that he gets toothpaste or urgent that he gets snacks from the commissary? Why is he going so far to make you feel bad and feel obligated that you need to give your last dime to him for commissary items? See, what it is that these same vices that these men dealt with before they went to prison, you would think that they would be able to kick the habit because they don't have access. You would think they don't have access to the same things that they have outside of prison. But the truth of the matter is, inside of prison, it's like its own separate society. They have access to many of the same things that we have out here. So they indulge in the same activities that they did before they were locked up. Whether it's gambling or drugs, those are the two main things that these gentlemen phone home requesting money for. Is to pay the debts that comes from drug use and gambling. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say across the board that every inmate that calls home asking for money is asking because they have a debt pertaining to gambling or drug use. Because that would be inaccurate and unfair to paint every inmate as the same. The truth of the matter is that a majority of times this is what it's for. See, in prison, when you gamble or use drugs, and if you don't have the access to the funds to pay for it right then and there. It's not like on the street, whereas it may affect your credit score, which will affect you from being able to acquire loans for different things. No. When you can't pay for it in prison, your life is in jeopardy. So it's going to be a little bit more urgency, when you can't pay your gambling debt or debt for drug use. So these gentlemen a lot of times will walk into a situation knowing that they don't have the money to cover themselves. But what they do know is that all they have to do is pick the phone up, give mama, pops, brother, sister, friend a sob story, and they'll be able to convince them to basically sometimes send them their last dime. But I'm here to make you think twice about that. See, you have your own issues that you have to deal with outside. You may have a family, mortgage, etc., different things that you're obligated to take care of. And taking care of a grown man who's made bad decisions and continues to make bad decisions shouldn't be a burden that you should have to bear. See, these grown men know the repercussions of not paying these debts in prison. They know that violence can come behind it. Their life can be in danger. Best case scenario, they get checked in. See, being checked in means that they go to solitary confinement, special housing unit, a lockdown, until they're able to come up with the funds for the debt that they owe. Now, does this have to happen? Do you have to gamble or use drugs when you're in prison? I know it helps the time go by, but nothing good ever comes from it. And they know this. So, should you stress yourself over an adult that chooses to continue to make the wrong decisions? Should you risk your food that can go to your children, your wife? Should you risk the money that you have to pay this mortgage with and lose your home? All because someone chooses to gamble or get high in prison. Something that they don't have to do. Now, from this point on, if you continue to support these bad habits, then you get what you get. It's one thing if you don't know, but now you know. So if you choose to continue to be manipulated into giving your last dime, then you can't be angry with anybody else but yourself. So again, when an inmate is constantly calling you and telling you that they need money for commissary and it's urgent, now you can use your common sense and you know that, okay, most likely they need this money for debts that they didn't have to create. So now it's on you to make the right decision.